We're about to step into a realm where the veil between our world and the next wears thin, a place where echoes of lives lived and lost linger. Tonight, we're diving into the heart of the paranormal, from the ethereal glow of orbs to the chilling presence of shadow figures. Get ready to confront the unknown. This is the world of ghosts and spirits. Orbs are a common and intriguing phenomenon in the paranormal world. These balls of light spark countless debates and theories. Witnesses of their erratic movements and energy know there's more to it. Could these orbs be spirits or glimpses into another dimension? Orbs appear in various colors, each potentially holding a different meaning or energy. White orbs may represent purity or a higher power. Green orbs might suggest a negative or malevolent presence. Some orbs move with purpose, guided by unseen intelligence. Are they trying to communicate, conveying messages from beyond? Imagine this. You're exploring a dilapidated building, steeped in history and shrouded in an eerie silence. The air feels heavy, charged with unseen energy. And then, out of the corner of your eye, you spot it, a swirling vortex of energy, a funnel ghost. These apparitions, often resembling a swirling column of smoke or mist, are said to be the spirits of those who've passed. Funnel ghosts have been reported in countless locations, from ancient castles to abandoned asylums. They seem drawn to places where history lingers, where the energy of the past is palpable. Some researchers believe these spirits are revisiting familiar haunts, unable to let go of their earthly existence. They might be drawn back to places of joy, sorrow, or trauma. Or perhaps they're trying to communicate with us, to share their stories. Encountering a funnel ghost is an unsettling experience, a reminder that we share this world with unseen forces. Be still, listen closely, and you might catch a glimpse of a swirling specter from beyond. Let's talk about communicators. These entities are fascinating and potentially heartbreaking. They have an absolute desire to connect with the living. Often, they reach out to loved ones. There's an invisible thread that transcends the veil. But these manifestations can be startling. Imagine, someone you lost appears before your eyes. That shock can invite something darker. One of the hallmarks of a communicator is their persistence. They'll use whatever means they can to get your attention. Cold spots, disembodied voices, even physical touch. It's all fair game. Communication with the other side, it's not a one-way street. We can interact, we can ask questions. It's that interaction that makes these investigations so intense. We've all heard the phrase unfinished business. In the paranormal world, it takes on a whole new meaning. Spirits bound to this earthly plane by a powerful purpose, to complete a mission. These missions can vary. Some spirits seek revenge, others protect loved ones. Some are just stuck, unable to move on until a task is done. Mission-oriented entities are focused, like heat-seeking missiles. They won't hesitate to achieve their goals. Their intensity can make them powerful, even dangerous. Sometimes, the living get caught in the crossfire. One of the most unnerving aspects of mission-oriented spirits is their unpredictability. They're driven by forces beyond our understanding, and their actions can be erratic, even violent. We're talking about poltergeist activity, objects moving on their own, even physical assaults. These spirits aren't bound by the same rules as the living. They can manipulate their environment, influence our emotions, even tap into our deepest fears. Sometimes, once a mission-oriented spirit accomplishes its goal, it just vanishes. It's as if the energy binding them to this world dissipates, allowing them to find peace. We're heading to China now, a place steeped in tradition, in reverence for ancestors. But this respect, this veneration, it cuts both ways. Disrespecting your ancestors can have dire consequences, even attracting vengeful spirits. These spirits, they linger, hungry for retribution. They're driven by a primal need to protect their legacy, to punish those who dishonor their memory. In Chinese culture, the 7th month of the lunar calendar is known as Ghost Month, a time when the veil between the worlds is thin and spirits are free to roam the earth. It's a time of both celebration and trepidation, a reminder of the delicate balance between the living and the dead. Those who've neglected their ancestral duties become prime targets for the family hunger spirits. They sense vulnerability and fear, drawn to it like moths to a flame. The things these spirits can do, they're the stuff of nightmares. Poltergeist activity, objects moving on their own, even physical attacks. They want to be noticed, to be acknowledged, and they'll use any means necessary to get your attention. These family hunger spirits, they're not just content with tormenting the living. They can also influence events, manipulating circumstances to bring about misfortune, illness, even death. The bonds of family extend far beyond the grave. We're diving deep into some seriously dark territory now with the Buruburu. This is not your friendly Casper the Ghost type of entity. This is a being fueled by pure, raw terror, malice, and a thirst for fear that would chill you to the bone. It doesn't just want to scare you. It wants to torture you, to push you to the absolute brink of sanity. Imagine coming face to face with what appears to be a loved one, someone you thought was long gone. They look, sound, and even act like the person you knew. But then, you see a flicker of something else in their eyes, a darkness that chills you to your core. That's the terrifying reality of the Buruburu. It can perfectly mimic the living, making its victims all the more vulnerable to its horrifying games. We're talking about a whole new level of evil here. The Buruburu's ability to create intense fear is rooted in its traumatic past. Imagine a life filled with unimaginable suffering, ending in sheer violence and agony. That raw, negative emotion doesn't just disappear. It lingers, festers, and eventually takes on a form: the Buruburu. Some believe the Buruburu are attracted to places of violence, feeding off residual energy. An encounter with a Buruburu is unforgettable, leaving lasting psychological scars. Our next stop takes us to the heart of West Bengal, India, where the legend of the Shakchuni sends chills down the spines of locals. Imagine the serenity of a tranquil pond shattered by a malevolent entity. The Shakchuni, a restless soul of a married woman who died with unfulfilled longing, craving companionship denied in life. She will stop at nothing, even possessing the living. The Shakchuni is terrifying for its ability to possess and change form. Imagine thinking you're talking to a fellow villager, only to see their features distort into something grotesque. The Shakchuni hides its face behind a veil, manipulating its victims and luring them into a false sense of security. Countless stories recount the feeling of being watched, of an unseen presence brushing past them, sending chills down their spines. The Shakchuni is a chilling reminder of the dangers in the spirit world. Few figures in paranormal lore are as universally recognized as the woman in white. She haunts cultures across the globe, her tale told with fear and fascination, the epitome of tragic beauty. Her presence is both alluring and unsettling. Often depicted as strikingly beautiful, her eyes filled with haunting sadness. She draws people with whispers of lost love and promises of solace. Beware, for the woman in white's beauty is fleeting, a mask that can slip at any moment to reveal the horrifying truth beneath. Her skin becomes ashen and cold, her eyes hollow pits of despair. Her touch turns icy and skeletal, her caress transformed into the bone-chilling grip of death. The legend of the woman in white is a chilling reminder that not everything is as it seems. We're diving deep now into the realm of the formless. These entities, known as mists, are like phantoms. No defined shape, just a swirling mass of energy. You'll see them on camera sometimes, drifting through the air, almost like smoke, but with an undeniable presence. And the colors, they vary. Sometimes white, almost angelic, other times dark, heavy gray. No matter the color, the feeling's the same. You're not alone. What's truly unsettling is we don't know their limits. They flow through walls and doors. It's like they exist on a different plane, brushing against our reality. Some think they're harmless, just residual energy, but something about them sets my senses on edge. Their unpredictable nature is a chilling reminder of the unknown. Mists aren't always as passive as they seem. In haunted locations, the air grows thick with unnatural fog. Temperature drops, hair stands up, and you're surrounded. This isn't just a harmless anomaly, it's something else entirely. The energy can be overwhelming, feeding off something. You never know what's lurking within that swirling cloud. We're heading down to Central America now, a land steeped in ancient traditions and dark entities. The Bantu Duppy is one of them, a spirit with a singular purpose to inflict pain and suffering. Imagine that darkness amplified 1,000-fold in the afterlife. That's the duppy. It can take on any form it chooses to lure in its victims, and once it has you in its sights, it won't let go easily. In Central America, the duppy is more than just a ghost story. The legend of the duppy is a cautionary tale, a reminder that our actions in life have consequences. It's said that the duppy is born from the darkest impulses of the human heart. When someone lives a life filled with cruelty, their spirit becomes twisted. In death, that corruption festers, transforming them into something monstrous. The duppy haunts people, latching onto their fears and insecurities. It feeds off negative emotions, growing stronger with every ounce of pain. It's a vicious cycle, a legacy of suffering passed down from one victim to the next. We've all heard the stories, the legends of the undead, creatures cursed to walk the earth long after their time. The Revenant is one such entity, a spirit caught in a terrifying limbo between the world of the living and the realm of the dead. Unlike mindless zombies, the Revenant is aware, trapped in a horrifying existence, tethered to the mortal plane. They don't see themselves as ghosts, believing they're still alive, going about their daily business. The Revenant walks a lonely path, driven by a singular purpose to right a wrong. They're consumed by unfinished business, tethered to this world, unable to find peace. Encountering a Revenant can be deeply unsettling. They might not even realize they're dead. Beneath that facade lies a deep well of sorrow. Let's talk about something straight out of your nightmares, the Snatchers. These ghosts fuel your darkest fears, crawling into your skin and taking control. They're like parasites, using your body as a puppet. Desperate to complete their unfinished business, they jump from person to person. Now, where do these sinister entities come from? Some say they claw their way out of disturbed graves. Others believe they linger in objects, clinging to possessions. It's a terrifying thought, and one we need to take seriously. The thought of a spirit inhabiting your body, controlling your every move, it's enough to make your blood run cold. You might not even know it's happening at first. One minute you're going about your day, the next, you're experiencing blackouts, feeling disconnected from your own thoughts and actions. They work in the shadows, twisting you from the inside out. Trust me, this is all too real. Let's dive into a legend that's both terrifying and strangely alluring. Bloody Mary. We've all heard the whispers. The childhood dares to summon her in a darkened bathroom. But how much of it is just teenage folklore, and how much is rooted in something darker? Some say Bloody Mary was a vengeful queen, her hands stained with the blood of her enemies. Now, the legend has evolved over time, becoming intertwined with the modern ritual of summoning her in a mirror. Some things are best left undisturbed. There's a reason why this legend has persisted for centuries. Bloody Mary taps into a primal fear within us. Maybe it's the vulnerability of standing in the dark. Whatever the reason, Bloody Mary remains a potent symbol of our fear of the unknown. Alright, let's talk about seekers. These spirits crave attention and will do whatever it takes to be noticed. They're like the class clown of the spirit world, causing chaos with flying objects, moving furniture, and even physical attacks. Seekers aren't typical ghosts. They're more primal, more chaotic. Some believe they might be demonic, tapping into dark energy. You rarely see them, just the aftermath of their rage. It's like they're invisible puppeteers, toying with our world. The energy is heavy, oppressive, like something's watching you. You might know seekers by another name. Poltergeists. Yeah, those guys, the ones Hollywood loves to throw into every other horror flick. They're the poster children for haunted houses, responsible for spooky, unexplained events. But here's the thing, most movies get it all wrong. They portray poltergeists as malevolent entities, hell-bent on harm. And while that can happen, it's not always the case. Sometimes they just want to scare you. If you were stuck for eternity, wouldn't you want to shake things up? Seekers are reaching out, trying to connect in the only way they know how. We've talked about a lot of different spirits, some sad, some lost, some just plain mischievous. But now, we're diving into the deep end, exploring the truly terrifying evil spirits. These are the ones that send chills down your spine, the ones that embody pure, unadulterated darkness. These ain't your friendly neighborhood ghosts. We're talking about the spirits of individuals who were rotten to the core in life. Murderers, sadists, psychopaths, the kind of people who reveled in pain and suffering. And guess what? Death didn't magically erase their evil. If anything, it amplified it, stripping away any semblance of humanity they might have had. Now, some folks might say that everyone deserves peace in the afterlife, but I'm not so sure. Some acts are so horrific, so depraved, that they leave a stain on the soul, a darkness that lingers long after the body has turned to dust. And when those souls cross over, that darkness doesn't just disappear. It festers, it grows, and it takes on a life of its own, transforming into something truly malevolent. Evil spirits are drawn to places of suffering, soaked in pain and anguish. They feed off that negative energy, growing stronger with each moment, drawn to misery like moths to a flame. They retain memories and desires of their former selves, remembering rage, hatred, and thirst for vengeance, lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike. Unpredictable, driven by a need to inflict pain. So, there you have it, a glimpse into the world of ghosts and spirits. From harmless orbs to terrifying seekers, we've covered a lot of ground. The stories and experiences are a powerful testament to the enduring mystery of the human experience. They force us to confront the unknown, and that's what we do here. We delve into the darkness, seeking answers. Stay tuned, because the unknown is always out there, waiting to be explored.